Yeah, this is how we start. It's that simple. We just go like this.
We just press record?
I mean, I want to make it... I wish we had like either a big red button or a lever or some kind of pulley system to make it more official.
I mean, to be fair, that is a big red button.
I want like a... It's like clickety-clacky numbers. Like I'm on the the bridge of the original Enterprise where like they flip the buttons.
Oh, okay. You want like hyperspeed, like full drive.
Yes. Ludicrous speed.
We could get a little bell that goes off. Bing.
Let's get on this.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome everyone to another episode of Better in 3D. I'm your host, Matthew James Grenier. With me is the wonderful and talented Molly Grace.
Yes, Molly Grace.
I always feel like that's your stage name. Like, I'm gonna find later your name's like Ina something else. It's like Molly Grace sounds like made up.
I'm named after my great-great-grandmother and my great-grandmother, and I used to go by Grace just because for like 6 months in 6th grade because I thought it was cooler.
Okay.
But I agree. I think I was named for my wonderful personality. My mom just could see what a beautiful child I was going to be.
It feels like you're trying out for like a Broadway play. Because I'm Molly Grace, and I'm going to be performing a soliloquy from
And I will be performing "Rain on My Parade" from Funny Girl.
That's the one.
In the key of ah.
Oh God! Oh no!
I just said that.
That's all. This could be out in the world. There's no taking that back.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm gonna be the one editing this, so
you can do what you like. You're gonna make it sound like I made that noise, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh no. Well, if you're new to the podcast, what we do here is we are people who, watch movies, drink booze, and talk about it. I mean, I wish there was a funnier way to say it, but like, in no way we are experts, and no way are we sober.
Yeah.
That should be our slogan.
Yes, I like it. Average intelligence.
Average intelligence above average livers. Done.
Yes.
So we're doing a little mini episode because me and Molly have just seen a bunch of movies over the holiday stretch, and we felt like we need to get out and talk to everyone about it. Because what's the point of seeing something unless I can tell people what I feel about it?
Yeah, if I'm not hearing my own voice constantly, what's the point of living?
Yeah, I mean, does a movie really exist until I give it a review? I'm not even sure.
It's beyond me.
Like, I haven't seen Mary Poppins yet, so I assume it's actually not real. It's
fake.
It's a figment. Is really what it is.
It's fake news.
It's just Emily Brown waiting for her turn to be seen by me. Because that's how the world works.
That's exactly. It revolves around you.
I like to think the whole world's like a Truman Show, but I'm Truman.
Oh, I believe that. I would fully believe that. Like, this is all an experiment. I'm just part of the experiment about you.
Like, the second I leave the room, you power down because you're obviously a robot.
Yeah, I don't exist without you, Matt.
Oh, God. This is scary, but also very believable.
Yeah.
Because we are a drinking podcast, I am drinking a Fantasy Factory India Pale Ale. It's got a little unicorn with shooting flames and a kitty cat with a desert eagle on it. It's very, very great bottle. I'm going to take a sip. I'm going to tell you how I feel about it.
I'm going to tell you that bottle has been in our fridge for months, maybe even a year.
Still great.
And we only bought it because of the unicorn. And then we realized it was an IPA, and none of us drink IPAs.
You guys got a weird blind spot for IPAs, because this is delicious IPA.
I know. I wish I could be more worldly like you. But
well, I mean, once again, you can't, because I'm so worldly.
It's true. It's true.
And you just ordered me. That's how this whole works. Okay.
I am drinking, it's called Loon Juice, Honeycrisp Hard Cider. It's from Minnesota, Three Daughters Winery. They sell a lot of really good stuff. It tastes like wine.
Okay.
But it's a cider, and it kind of tastes like cider. It's a really good blend of not too sweet if you're looking for a cider that's not reds or angry.
I'm never looking for cider,
Yeah.
Did you say or angry?
Angry Orchard, whatever.
No, I love it because you said reds. For a second I forgot that was the name of a cider. I thought you were like a red cider and a yellow cider, and then you said angry. I was like, I love that. Like, we sell red, green, and angry are my 3 ciders.
Yes, I also have blue cider. It's it's the other side of life. But yeah.
So we're gonna talk about some new movies. Should we go worst movie to best movie, or it's like?
Oh boy!
I got a really shitty one I can talk about right now.
Start with that.
The Exorcism of Hannah Grace. That was the name of the movie.
I think that's what it was.
It's a terrible movie it's still out there. It's an hour and 31 minutes, and it's about 31 minutes too long. It's the idea is that it should work on paper. It's a kind of a cool concept, and the directing's not terrible, the acting's not terrible, but somehow it's just. I don't know how to explain it, but the movie starts with this girl who's possessed. Classic exorcism stuff. There's couple priests, and there's some reason like in like I don't know, an abandoned factory.
Can I interject something? I haven't seen it, but I feel like to put that really in context, it's Emily Fields from Pretty Little Liars, Shay Mitchell, and like as someone who grew up with that as my soap opera, yikes. Anyway, continue on.
I've never seen Pretty Little Liars, so I don't know.
Let me tell you, you're missing out.
Am I?
You're missing out big time. You have never felt...
I feel like there's one actress who's like famous now and I see her in things.
Ashley Benson.
Is that the one I don't know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And now Shay Mitchell, because clearly she's going to get famous from this movie.
So girl possessed, priest trying to stop her, the demon fully possessed her, and one of the things when the demon is empowered in like the person, bright blue, glowing eyes, kind of like Underworld style. Like that's different. Uses telekinetics to kill one of the priests, is about to kill the next one. The father strangles the daughter to stop the demon, kills it, right? Boom. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, we meet our main character from Pretty Little Liars, I forget her name again.
Yeah.
She is getting a job as a nighttime intake to the morgue. When they drop bodies off, she's got to catalog them, like put fingerprints and like that. She was a cop before this, right? You find out why she's no longer a cop. She meets with her friend who's getting a job there, who's like a nurse. It's Becca from Castle. When you guys watch Castle, I have seen that show. Amazing.
It's a good show.
Except for last season was garbage, but everything besides that was great. They're both in AA together. She basically found out that she was a cop who basically didn't fire when her partner was like about to be killed and like he died because of her indecision, and then she I was also injured. Why it happened? She got shot too, which she didn't pull her gun fast enough. And when she was getting with the rehab, she got a pill addiction and something like kind of washed out. So like her boyfriend, who's also a cop, is like he's getting his stuff from her place, right? So this is her new job in the morgue late at night. She's doing her things, and all of a sudden a body shows up, and it's kind of really really messed up. And you realize it's the body of the girl, but like it's all messed up. There's like cuts in it, and there's burns on it, and you think to yourself, oh, she was choked. What happened to this body? They said the cops, people dropped out and said, oh, the person who killed her was like mutilating the body and blah blah blah, and like they're taken away. And then all of a sudden she's trying to like fingerprint won't work. She can't take pictures of it. She finally uses like the name in there that's Hannah, and like she's like, well, this person died 3 months ago. This can't be the right name. So she calls her boyfriend, goes, hey, run these fingerprints for me. My system's down. You know, I don't know why, because it's telling me this is Hannah Grace, and she's been dead for 3 months. And at one point some homeless inspectors will break in. You would realize you're the people that's the dad from earlier, but she doesn't know that. She gets security down there to get him, stop him, come around. Basically, long story short, this body keeps coming back to life and killing people, and every time he kills it, gets a little more healthier, and he's trying to go back to destroy the body. So that's the whole point is like the demon never really left. You have to completely incinerate the body, and he tried to kill it a few different times over the last 3 months, and and so she kind of fights this possessed body corpse thing, and it's also kind of terrible. Also, this demon thing, he takes broken, usually women, and like mentally tortures them until they break, and then that's so like this is gonna be the new vessel, this girl, and it's their fight, which sounds kind of okay, like this because like in between like bouts of it being awake, it's still just a corpse, and then all of a sudden like it kind of comes back to life, reanimates, and like zaps some life out of it. But it's so shitty. You know what it is? Because they show everything. There's no like, oh, what do you, like if people just ended up dead, it'd be weird. But like they're showing everything. Oh, look at this corpse on the ceiling. Look at this corpse to the. Like it's really fucking bad.
Just somebody working in like the morgue as like the night morgue person. Mm-hmm. There's something there. Like I don't know if there's a dark comedy. I don't know if there's a really good movie there. But that concept within itself.
I feel like they had this cool concept. Like, oh, when this cool this happened. Like, okay, now write the rest of the movie. Like, oh, I don't know how to do the rest of the movie. I know how to. Hey, so she's like trying to get her life back together. She was in the morgue. There's maybe like a possessed demon. Oh, this sounds cool. How does it end? Oh, I don't know. Fire? Fire is the ending, right? That's what you... Fire bad?
That's how they always end in horror movies. Yeah. When they don't know how to end it. Light them on fire. Light them on fire. Halloween, the new Halloween movie, they did that.
First of all, the new Halloween was great, but definitely...
It was, but they fell into that trope.
So I would give this a hard F. Please do not see this.
I'm gonna see it.
I have a pet peeve where if I'm in a movie theater, or if I'm even watching a movie at home, or I'm even like watching with friends and I've seen this movie, I don't take my phone out. I don't like people to take the play like, oh, I'm gonna just checking my emails while I'm watching the Avengers. I'm like, no, first of all, go fuck yourself. Put it away and watch the movie. I took my phone on this movie. I only have ever done in my life, but I'm like, oh god, I want to play a video game on my phone because this movie's so boring. Yeah, I guess there's a demon. I'm not really paying attention. It was so bad. So
oh god,
hard pass.
I can't even. Yeah, I'm the same way. If I pull my phone out in a movie, it's got to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I typically the other thing is I love shitty movies because I can make fun of them. If it's so shitty you can't make fun of it, it's got to be bad.
No, I was kind of, things I actually saw this movie myself, so like maybe if I had to be there, we could make fun of it, but like it was trying so hard. Like usually if you're that shitty, you're leading into like, oh, how shitty we are.
Yeah, kind of like the movie Lizzie that was out this year.
You keep bringing Lizzie up. I've not seen Lizzie.
You thought you had seen Lizzie Borden?
I thought there's another movie with Lizzie, and I thought you were talking about that. I did not see this Lizzie. There's a Lizzie from like 5 years ago.
You haven't seen The Naked Murderous Lesbians?
I know of the story of Lizzie Borden. I know.
Kristen Stewart fails to act while she's sleeping.
Okay,
I don't believe her sleeping in this movie. It's everything
Stewart
you've ever wanted.
Is one of the worst actors. Anyone who was a fan of my TV show before this, I've gone my tirades about Kristen Stewart. How I don't think she can actually act.
She can't.
I feel like someone lost the bet in Hollywood. It's like, well, we owe her this many more movies. She's got a punch card we got to fill up. I don't know.
You could literally put a stand-in double of just like a cardboard cutout and get nearly the same same content.
Snow White and the Huntsman, she's got like 6 lines, and she's the main character, and she does that one speech, and it's so bad, it may like ruin that movie for me.
She's best seen, not heard.
I don't like seeing her either.
I mean, as a lesbian, I'm going to take this opportunity to say that she's best seen, not heard. I keep forgetting we're on a podcast and it's recording.
What, was that a secret? Did we just out you?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh man!
Do you want me to do a movie now?
Yes.
Since this is a movie podcast. Okay. I saw a lot on streaming. I'm gonna go back a ways. I saw this before Christmas. But Beautiful Boy, with Steve Carell as a serious actor. I love him as a serious actor. I loved Foxcatcher. I loved Battle of the Sexes.
Battle of the Sexes was great.
It was great.
Yeah.
In that movie specifically, he gets to kind of play into comedy and as well as this heart of the movie almost at times.
Okay.
But in Beautiful Boy, it's all serious. There's no moments of break for him. There's no pieces of the movie where, that little bit of sunshiny Steve Carell comes out. It's all serious, and it actually works really good. Timothée Chalamet does really well, but I think the character that shines is Steve Carell. So Timothée Chalamet plays I think he's in high school when his drug addiction starts.
Okay.
He tells his dad immediately and goes into rehab, gets better, and then the entire movie is that cycle over and over, and all the changes that have to happen with addiction, and every time you go through that cycle, what happens to the family. It's not about... So many of these movies look at the addict. This movie takes a look at the family and what they're going through.
I saw the trailer for this movie way back when, and I don't know if you was paying attention, because I thought it was about a dad sending his kid off to college.
It has that vibe.
Like, I was like, I'd not seen this movie, so I was like, I remember releasing the trailer for, I don't know, 6 months ago. I thought that's what this movie was about.
That's, what the movie should have been about,
okay.
Right? But the fact of the matter is, addiction took over this kid's life, and it doesn't get to be about that anymore.
Okay.
So, I really liked it. I cried.
But you're a big weeper.
I'm a big weeper at movies. But...
she cried all through the Lego movie. Could not stop.
I've never seen a Lego movie.
I'm in your house right now, and, yeah.
We're surrounded by Legos.
There's Legos everywhere. How have you never seen a Lego movie?
I don't really like comedies or animated movies.
Oh. Jesus wept. Okay,
We have to bring Jesus into this?
Yes. Oh, God.
I like situational humor. Juno is probably, the most descriptive of my humor.
Just a straight-up comedy. Like The Hangover. You'd hate that? Have you seen it?
It was fine.
Oh, okay, how about a classic, What About Bob?
I never heard of it.
You've never seen What About Bob?
I'm young, Matt.
So Bill Murray
I'm
plays
spry.
an obsessive compulsive. He's obsessed with his therapist. Therapist played by Richard Dreyfuss, goes away with his family to vacation, and he just shows up there because he can't get away, and he invades their whole life. It's insane. Oh, What About Bob's a classic. Okay, all right. We've derailed here. Beautiful Boy. Okay, back to the...
Yeah, I mean, it was just, it was well shot. I think it's carried by its story and its characterization of addiction. So it's a really good look into that. But I thought it was going to be a little bit boring, but it actually carries really well. And I think a lot of that has just led to the really good portrayals by Steve Carell and Timothée Chalamet.
Who plays the mom in the movie?
Good question. I didn't look that up. This is a casual podcast.
Oh, I thought she was someone...
She is somebody notable, and I can't think of it at the moment.
Okay. All right.
But she was good in it too, but she's the there's a mother and a stepmother.
Oh.
And then the stepmother is in it more than the actual mother. So, yeah.
Okay, so if you got to give it a grade or stars.
But I was going to give it if I'm going to grade it.
You have 13 out of 13 thumbs. How many thumbs are there?
Out of 13 thumbs, I would say there's at least a solid 9.
Okay. That's very good.
A solid 9, yeah.
Did you fall asleep during this one?
No, I did not fall asleep during this one. Even though I marathoned that day, too. I also saw Can You Ever Forgive Me with Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, okay.
I
really want to see that. How was that movie?
I enjoyed it. It was kitschy. It was fun. The most I'm really going to say about it is I didn't know anything about the storyline, so you went in blind. You're finding out this cute little story about this person down on their luck. Isn't
she forges letters or something?
Yeah, she forges these letters by famous authors. So she's down on her luck. She does this. She meets kind of this kooky character, and it's so nice to see Melissa McCarthy shine in a role and not just play the same character over and over like a lot of her comedies. I'm not saying I dislike any of her comedies. I do enjoy them. I think they're funny, but this was unique.
Okay. Like The Heat? Heat's great.
I liked The Heat.
Yeah. No, that's the problem with a lot of comedians. Like, when you hit that note, they want you to hit it over and over again. You know?
Yeah.
So all right. So you like that one. Okay. I got a movie. I'm trying to go in order. I'm trying to think what's best. I'm trying to do, like, in my head what's best. It's not. The next movie I saw was Instant Family, which is a movie I thought I would not like at all, and I liked. It's very I'm going to try that word. Yeah. Predictable. And it stars Mark Wahlberg and Rose Byrne. I was going to say Breen, but I know it's not.
I always see her name when I say it.
Rose Byrne. And basically they're married and their life's going pretty well, and she wants to have kids or not have kids, and basically she talks them into adopting or fostering kids. Mm-hmm. And and it's very cute and funny. Like the way he gets her on board. She leaves a laptop with like one of these like Sarah McLachlan-esque comes to rescue these children. He's crying through it. He's we can't not get him. And they get talking into not talking. They meet one of the kids they like. They and it's actually an older, it's a teenager, and they want to foster her, but she's got 2 younger siblings, and they take all 3 in. And it's based on a true story. It's based on the guy who wrote it, and he wrote a few movies with Mark Wahlberg where he did like those Patriot Day, whatever those movies he writes. He's an action hero. That guy writes those movies. So this is his life story, and I don't get too much of it. It's funny. It's harrowing. It's got all the quintessential 90s kind of style comedy, and it works. There's a lot of scenes of them a support group with other parents who are adopting kids like that, and interacting and all the things you think you can see the plot a million miles away. The birth mother comes back at some point and like that, and then try to bond, and it's happy but still works. It's got enough emotion in it. The kids they got are great actors. They're funny in it. It's just a story of them just becoming a family. It's a very simple story, and it works out real well. There's this great scene where the oldest daughter I think she's 15 or 16. Yeah, she's 15. She's about to be 16. Is the Rose Byrne thinks that she's texting a boy at her school named Jacob, and it's actually the janitor who's 20, and he sends him her dick pic, and they go to school and they beat the shit out of him. They go find him. It's pretty funny. Where is this guy? Because that kind of stuff. It's pretty funny. It's heartwarming, and it's I don't want to oversell, but a solid B movie. It was way better. It outperformed what it should have done. For a very simple movie. I think it's because it's someone's real story. It's got weird nuances, different little interactions with the grandparents and manipulations and things of the system back and forth. They're just little twists and turns that should be a very straightforward movie. Adopt kids, pushback, bond, family. Yeah. It has a lot of weird little slice of life that feel real because it probably really did happen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It was definitely one I meant to get around to just because it did look like a fun little movie that would make you feel happy, and I feel like we haven't had a lot of those this year. Everything has been so poignant and on the mark and kind of forces you to look at life as it is. And it's nice to get away from that, isn't it?
It was like the Golden Globes this year. Every single accepted person had to lecture us on what's wrong with America.
We know.
We know. We're here.
We're living through it.
I love it. They're older, especially they're telling me us what's wrong, what we gotta change. We don't we're unaware. Oh wait, you told me? Well, now I didn't know.
I had no idea I was living in absolute hell. Thank you.
Thank you. It wasn't like I was watching a TV show to get away from it for 5 minutes, but yeah, good, ruin it for us.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There were so few movies this year that I got to go sit down and be bamboozled by, and just
there's so little joy.
There was
even movies that were good action movies, popcorn movies. We're still the Avengers ended with people dying all over the place. Like, nothing was joyful this year.
You could have nothing. Like, sure, Black Panther was great, but he's gonna die in the next movie.
Yeah,
he's
I
in.
was like,
Like, you know, but one movie I did like, the only movie I think I sat down at this year, and I was like, this is just entertaining. I get to sit and be entertained. I get to escape for a little bit, was Mary Poppins.
Oh, yeah.
Mary Poppins Returns.
I really want to see this because the original Mary Poppins is one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. And multiple times I've been trying to like set up to go with someone just falling through. I gotta get this to work.
I think I would go again.
Ooh. And
so Emily Blunt plays Mary Poppins, and she comes back to help the original Banks children who are now adults. And these adults, the boy Michael has lost his wife that year, and so he has 3 kids. 2 of them are a little bit older, and then there's one that's a younger age. I have no idea how to age children. They could be anywhere from 5 to 12, and I wouldn't know the difference. But so these little kids have to kind of grow up and take care of themselves.
Okay.
And the older kids take care of the younger one because dad's so stressed with money and stuff, and the house is about to get taken away by the bank. Played by the banker that's taking away the house, played by Colin Firth. He's a lovely villain. I loved him.
I love Colin Firth.
He's a beautiful human. But so then obviously Mary Poppins comes back, and the weird thing about the movie it's not the original music. I thought it was going to be the original music.
Oh, no, I thought for sure new music, right?
Yeah, it's all new music. And all of the music is catchy and fun, and the underlying score to the whole movie is the original songs.
Oh, okay.
So you're still, just a spoonful of sugar is still playing in the background while they're walking down the street. So you get this weird blend of these original songs that are catchy, almost like you could sing along by the end of the song, and then the old songs that you know and love that are kind of in the background, so you're blending this nostalgia with this originality in the music. You also get that blend in just the way they tell the story. The original Mary Poppins, who I grew up loving Mary Poppins, they go to like the uncle's house where they're on the ceiling or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's the scene where they're in the animated spot.
And they did the same style, right? Those animated scenes are just full Who Framed Roger Rabbit style animation.
Yeah.
I love that.
They did the whole thing. It was the same structure. It was in different places, and the storyline was a little bit different. But there was still, instead of chimney sweeps, there were light leeries that light the lamps and stuff. So you had this blend in the plot, and all of the things you see, everything was just vaguely similar. And so you got the nostalgia as well as just being completely awed by the graphics, everything that was new. The animation scenes is one of my favorite scenes from this year. The animation itself is really cute and kitschy. The story and the song is great. But then the outfits are... My mom's like, oh, they just animated the outfits. I said, no, you don't understand. Those outfits are all made of material. They're just made to look animated.
Oh, really?
So they're like drawn on bow ties and stuff like that. So it was really cute. I cried so many times. The whole plot kind of comes together at the end in a fun little way that you didn't expect. I laughed, I cried, but it was truly entertaining, which I haven't seen such an entertaining movie. I wanted Crimes of Grindelwald to be entertaining, and it wasn't. No. It was disappointing.
We're not allowed to have joy, okay?
We're not allowed to have joy, but let me tell you, Mary Poppins brought me so much joy.
I mean, Emily Blunt, I assume, just killed it.
Nailed it. And Mary Poppins is not nearly as much in this one as she was in the last one. She's obviously still the driving force and is there.
Yeah.
But, obviously the original movie, Mary Poppins is kind of the iconic character. And I wouldn't say that was necessarily the case here. She was iconic, she was there, but she wasn't the focus in the movie.
Okay.
Which was nice. There was my only complaint, there's this spot at the end where, instead of kites, because the original kite actually comes in the story, but they have balloons and they're going into the air with these balloons. And there's a balloon lady selling balloons. The part is obviously written for Julie Andrews.
Okay.
It was obviously written. There's this small little song. Julie Andrews didn't take the part for some reason or whatever. Yeah. And it's Angela Lansbury.
Oh, okay.
Another iconic Disney person. Mm-hmm. But I just kept sitting there going, this is just so obviously not for Angela Lansbury.
Did Dick Van Dyke show up at some point?
He did. He does his own dance.
Oh, really?
He's
old. 90 now, right? He's got to be an old man.
And he did all of the dance and learned it, and it was so impressive. And people clapped when he came on the screen. I saw it in a full theater full of like moms and kids and people my age. It was every age group, and everybody that I saw it with loved it. So there was me, 25-year-old, my sister who's 38, my mom who's some age that I probably shouldn't say on the podcast, but she's over 50.
Does she listen to this podcast? You don't want to yell.
She does.
Well, then, I I don't know how old she is, but from the photographic evidence, she can't be over 35. I mean,
exactly.
She's a youthful woman.
The only person that had any grievances with it was my 14-year-old niece. But, try to impress a 14-year-old, I dare you. So.
Oh, sounds like a terrible idea.
Junior high kids, they will be the death of all of us. Yeah, they will overrun the world. But, yeah.
So you liked it?
I did.
Okay.
And just a little side note, I saw Aquaman 2 right around that time.
My next one's Aquaman.
Yeah,
okay.
and it was kind of that same thing. It was just kitschy and fun, and I got to sit there and be entertained the whole time.
So I was a brand Aquaman. I was thinking, actually, there was a movie that had a little bit of joy at the end. So Aquaman, starring Jason Momoa. If you guys don't know about Aquaman, I don't blame him because he's a stupid person. But I'm a huge comic nerd. But you saw a little bit in the Justice League movie, which was terrible. And he was one of the better parts of it. But basically, James Wan went full nerd on it. Everything is they have the ridiculous costumes. They have the crazy underwater life. He is the son of a Atlantean queen and a human lighthouse keeper, and he's been raised on the surface since his mother was taken back for treason and killed, and he's been exiled this whole time. And his brother Orn, who becomes known as the Ocean Master because they have great names, is gonna unite all the kingdoms. There's 7 kingdoms out there and attack the surface world. And I'm gonna get too much into it. And then Amber Heard plays Mirren, and she's the princess who's also a witch. She's got magic powers, control water. It's like that. She's coming to get him. Hey, you got to claim the throne, or it's gonna be bad. People are dying out of that. And now he's got to find. Also, his name's Arthur, and his job is to find a trident that's stuck in a stone. Just they didn't get outside the box too much in this one. It's funny. It's because DC makes terrible comic movies. Other than Wonder Woman, they've really not made a good one yet. This one's great. This one's fun.
It was fun. I agree.
A little long. Special effects were really good, surprisingly good for underwater. I was really worried because what we saw of the underwater stuff in Justice League was not good. I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. Very fun. He's fun. They're wrong. Jason Momoa, he's not a great actor. He's charismatic. He's handsome, and he's charismatic, and he can make you laugh, but he ain't gonna be doing Shakespeare in the Park anytime soon. He is definitely... that's what he does. I mean, he's pretty. He's pretty, and his chemistry with Amber Heard is great, and they carry it.
It is.
And I like all the supporting actors. I saw this movie with a group of friends. A guest on the show a lot, Joe Weber. You guys knows Dr. Joe. He saw it with me. In the movie, Nicole Kidman's in it because that's Aquaman's mom, and he goes, "Oh my god, that actress looks just like Nicole Kidman." And I go, "That is Nicole Kidman." It's because she doesn't age, folks. Nicole Kidman is 50 and she still looks 21. I don't know how she does it. She is a freak of nature.
That's so true, because in the movie she supposedly ages, but all they do is make her hair gray. She still looks like the 25-year-old that she was in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Good movie. I'm not going to go too much about it because I don't want to spoil anything because there's not much to spoil, but it's a romp. It is fun. It's like, we were talking earlier, even the comic movies this year have been kind of dark. Mm-hmm. This one wasn't. This one's fun. It gives a little hope for the rest of the movies. Shazam's coming out later on. Maybe that'll be good. I do love... I don't know if the actor's name, but he was Chuck.
Are we not supposed to spoil things on this podcast?
I try not to.
Oh, well, oops.
I know you did, but it's fine. Actually, take it back. We spoil shit all the time.
Yeah.
I try not to do the new movies that much, but you saw this coming, guys. It wasn't a big secret. Because she's in the trailer. Either way.
Anyway.
And he becomes a hero. He's Aquaman. Also, I do love the fact, I don't know what you know, the crappy Super Friends show, but he had that power. His power, he goes all the Atlanteans kind of magic, so he doesn't really have. He's much stronger and faster than all because he's had genetic diversity makes him a little more tougher. Mm-hmm. So he's stronger and faster than any of the other water people. But his one weird power is he can talk and control animals. No one else can do that. That's his weird power. Mm-hmm. And in Super Friends, it was this weird beep, 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 radar thing out of his head. It was just a stupid power. I love that they had it in the movie. They does it. Oh my god. So that was Aquaman. Yeah. Nothing to write home about. It's a solid B. Fun.
Yep. And I want to say probably 20-30 minutes into it, it occurred to me, I was like, this is a DC movie. And all of a sudden I was able to completely let go and enjoy it.
It's like DC made a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
It's it's
it was
crazy.
Fun.
I liked it. We got another movie you want to talk
about? Well, we can talk briefly about Bird Box.
Yeah, talk about Bird Box.
Well, there was a couple streaming movies that we can kind of band together. Bird Box I thought was good. I liked Sandra Bullock in it. Basically, she's got these... 2 kids with her, and she's fighting off some sort of shadow wind demons that when people see it, they are forced to kill themselves. They're forced to see some sort of thing that's so horrible that they want to kill themselves. It's really hard to describe this movie. Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna get too crazy about it. First of all, it sounds like everyone in America saw this movie, right? Once.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know, it had horror elements, it had slasher elements, it had this element of like a family movie, a little bit of romance in there, but it's obviously hyped, but I actually enjoy, and I wasn't going to watch it, I was like, I don't really care about this. I ended up really liking it. There was a lot of metaphor going on in there, and it was just, I didn't breathe for the whole movie. You were so compelled to keep going.
Okay.
But, yeah, I enjoyed it. For a streaming movie, I really enjoyed it.
Okay. One of the new movies I just saw just recently was the movie Vice. From Adam McKay. It's the same guy who wrote The Big Short. It's got an all-stars cast. We got Christian Bale as Vice President Dick Cheney. You got Amy Adams as Lynn Cheney. You have Steve Carell as Donald Rumsfeld. Who else is there? There's just tons of like famous people in this movie all throughout the movie. Mm-hmm. As we have, I forgot his name, but he just won the Oscar. He plays George W. Sam Rockwell. I kept wanting to say Sean Penn.
Did you say Amy Adams?
Yeah, Amy Adams.
Okay, bless.
He, first of all, does a killer George W. Like, all these people just crush it. The movie itself is, he's got that kind of odd storytelling thing where there's no narrators or voiceover. Mm-hmm. They do clips of stuff. They do fun things. Like, it breaks the fourth wall all the time. Like, one of my favorites, the beginning of the movies, they have this really dramatic scene of him as a 21-year-old getting a DUI. They cut to, like, this is based on true events. This really happened. And it says, like, as much, and then it scrolls down as much as we could find out from the most secretive leader in the history of the planet. And then he says, "We tried our fucking best." Is that it's basically a story. It's done really well. The acting is superb. It's not as like tight as The Big Short, because Big Short could leave out a lot because it was mostly about the story of this event. Mm-hmm. This is a biopic, and there's so much of Dick Cheney's life I did not know about. Mm-hmm. I had no idea that he was I really didn't. I just know he was a CEO and then the vice president. I realized he was a congressman for Wyoming, that he was a chief of staff for Ford or something like that. Like, he's been in politics the whole time, his whole life. How he was an average student who kind of failed out of Yale because he drank too much and got a couple DUIs. It has like a lot of themes run through it. It's got some really funny moments. The comic relief is Steve Carell as Donald Rumsfeld, who's kind of this jackass basically, and they get along pretty well. The movie starts with him in his past, and it cuts right to 9/11, like what was happening when they were in the bunker, and then it goes back to the 9/11 scene a little bit as like the timeline catches up to him, and then eventually when you hit that, it goes away from that kind of like. I like the movie. If politics aside, if half the stuff in this movie is true, then he's kind of a monster, more than we think, you know.
Well, does it read like The Big Short read as like everything in there was like strikingly honest?
It's there's like I said, they try really hard. I feel like most of it's pretty honest. Like I feel like there's some facts that they're not, you know, a lot of it's high level presidential meetings like that. Yeah. You're intuiting things, you know, but some stuff's not. Like all of the surrounding stuff I feel is pretty genuine, especially since they spent a lot of time pre him being the VP, and they spent a lot of time about that, and it feels very true. Him trying to, like, you know, he was at one point was on the show to run for president once, and he didn't do it because he didn't want to bring his daughter, who was openly gay at the time. They didn't want to put her through that, so he didn't run for president. That was going to be the end of his book. Like, that's when the private sector was. Well, this is it. When as far as I go, the next stop would be the presidency, but I can't go that far. And that's when he went to be working in the private sector until George W. got him. And he, like, the way that he becomes the vice president and get all his power is so great, because he says how to find a man and know his weakness. What does he want? He wants to be better than his dad, be his own man. He turns him down like 4 times. I'm not gonna be the vice president. I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to do it. And he goes, well, you know, he kind of gives those comments. You seem like a charismatic guy who leads by his gut, you know. And he could tell he doesn't even want to be president, you know, like. And he goes, well, if I took like the mundane stuff off your table, like the energy and the military and like that, and you could be the other big picture stuff. And he's like, all right, let's do that, like. And like how I don't know how truthful it was, but in the movie they set up where supposedly his people, Cheney's people, got every email and documentation before the president first, like supposedly so they would like filter the knucklehead stuff for him. Really, they were like controlling him. They're trying to go every levels of government. Like Cheney's person was actually higher up in the chain of command than Bush's person. Like there's always this weird thing like that. I don't get too much into it, but like the one thing that's kind of is that him and Anthony Scalia at one point helped draft a document back when he was in with Ford's administration, basically saying the president could have unlimited power. Basically, the idea that if you interpret the Constitution, like anything the president does is legal because he's the president. If he's the president, he's doing it, it has to be legal. Like it's like if so facto, like if I do this, it's gotta be okay because I'm the president. It basically gives the president ultimate power, and he wanted this for himself. And so, and Bush used that when we went to after 9/11 and we went to war, and so actually Obama too used that kind of power. Like, hey, I'm the president, do what I want, which sounds to be a really good thing since then everyone's using it. But Cheney's one who put that in power, like in motion. 30 years ago, like it was on the books for that time, and like when he got in there, it's okay, now we can use this,
Fascinating.
Yeah, so a very fascinating movie. I don't want to get too much into it because it riles people up politics wise. But if you're some moviegoer, the acting is great. Christian Bale kills it. He becomes Dick Cheney. It's crazy. Minor spoiler, but I think it's a cool spoiler. You get a voiceover in this movie from a character who's popped up. You don't know where he is. At one point he goes, "You're probably asking how I know all this. I'm kind of let's say I'm related to Dick Cheney." And the guy's like a soldier. And he's telling the story. And he keep coming back to him. The movie is told by the person who gave Dick Cheney his new heart. That's the character in real life. Like he has a heart transplant at some point, and that's the person who's telling the story of the movie. So there's things like that a lot.
That's funny.
So, but it's very good. I'd say everyone should see it. Not as good as the Big Short, because the Big Short was just more. The story should have been like 5 movies, and it was just all over the place. And he's trying to fit as much so much interesting facts about this man. Like it could take. We need like an HBO John Adams style like miniseries.
Dick Cheney.
Yeah. Well, it makes you feel bad. It makes you feel like, oh god, but it's done very well. I mean, so I'd give it. I mean, I don't think it's getting any Oscar love really because it just wasn't that great. Like. They had some failings in the structure because the movie should be like 5 hours and it's already long at 2:15,
Yeah.
But and also I like the fact they say away a lot of the Bush administration because everyone kind of knows that.
Yeah.
Like they kind of did a breakdown the nuts and bolts how he got away with the stuff, but really it's before and after.
Yeah. We can go ahead and talk completely different than Vice. What we saw today, Mary Queen of Scots.
Yes. So we saw Mary Queen of Scots today. A nice little lunch and movie time.
I may or may not have fallen asleep to the meat of the movie.
No, not the meat. Just the most exciting part of the movie.
Yeah. I fell asleep for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I had tequila and I was a little tired, okay? And it melted. I didn't realize I'd fallen asleep till I woke up and somebody was being stabbed. It's just... And I was like, oh, what happened? Why is he being stabbed? Oh my god. But, I mean... I went into it completely blind. I know nothing about any of this. Like, I didn't even... All I knew about it was it had Margot Robbie and Saoirse Ronan. I didn't know anything about these queens. I didn't know anything... I have never seen The Crown, so I had nothing going into this and no history lesson. So I was a little bit lost at the beginning, but they kind of pull you back into it, and... I didn't expect to love it, but I kind of loved it. I
also did not expect to love it, because I don't... Usually, like these type of... There's a lot of movies about this time era, like Victorian.
Yeah.
I just don't love them that much. Like Elizabeth, this was also a movie came a few years ago. I love this movie. It was so good. Technically wise, amazing art direction, amazing cinematography. The costumes, the wardrobe was amazing. The acting was great, but the way the movie just worked. It worked so well.
And I think a lot of the movie was sold by the acting itself. Yeah. Saoirse Ronan deserves any nod she gets, any award she can have. Margot Robbie's... It's advertised as a Margot Robbie movie.
She's not in the movie...
Hardly at all. And even when she is, her character is vastly different than you expect it to be. So there's really not... It's Saoirse Ronan the entire time, but there is something to say about how different this role was for Margot Robbie. She's not the pretty girl. Oh. She goes headfirst into the role, and obviously picked this because of the heart of the movie, and not necessarily how much screen time there was.
Margot Robbie's one. I don't know if you're waiting for the scene when they have this. She has this conversation on top of the palace with her head advisor. And he's saying why you have not given an heir to them, because she basically says she used the term that she's not a woman, she's a man. I'm a king.
Yeah,
and it's kind of hollowing her out. She's becoming like cold and distant. She's married to the job basically, and then also but Mary the opposite is like it's full of passion and fire and love and ferocity to like unite this kingdom. Like she tried. It's so weird. Like they both took the exact one queen did nothing. She just did that and like. That was her plan. She never married anyone and never got any heirs because she knew they couldn't kill her or dethrone her until there was a replacement. Yeah. So she just never did. And then the other one got a child and multiple kings, multiple husbands. it was really good acting from David Tennant, which I didn't know was going to be in this movie. Guy Pearce was great in this movie.
I spent about, I want to say 2 minutes going between me and our friend Haley, who's sitting in the middle of me and Matt going, is that David Tennant? I think that's David Tennant. We'll never know. It could be David Tennant. It's got to be David Tennant. But before you keep going, I want to cut in. You were talking about the one queen that does nothing and the other one that is full of passion and fire and full of everything. And I think that it was the feminism in the movie, because the whole movie is about this friendship between them, or lack thereof, I guess.
It's a respect of, like they said, they're like the only two people in the world that can understand each other.
Yeah.
And like the paths they each took, and like how the one who took the passive role envied her because I envy your beauty, I envy your passion, your bravery. Like Mary in this movie is fearless in ways that she shouldn't be. Like she could be like she's just a small woman with a title, and that's only keeping her like a room just full of warriors and men and like lords, and she's just throwing down and like who gives a shit.
She is, and she was really well spoken. The character was written to sound very intelligent, whereas Mary, the Margot Robbie, Elizabeth, is written to sound a little bit more plain and like you said, she doesn't do as much, and so there's this level of feminism where she just doesn't listen to the men and just kind of lets whatever happen because of the pressure she feels, whereas Saoirse Ronan listens to, her male advisors and basically goes, well, fuck you, and just goes off and kind of tries to prove her.
She lets
her
Elizabeth lets the men do their schemes and fail.
Yeah.
And then when they're failures, she can be like, well, I listened to you and look what happened.
Yeah.
Mary never lets them do their plans. Every time she does, she thwarts them every time. Mm-hmm. Her brother, who like you think might kind of love her like as family, it's so weird, and like she spares his life like twice, and like doesn't just exiles him. Is still convinced that he's the best. Like his way is the best way. He's mansplaining how to run a country, and because she never lets them do it the way she wants it, they still are just desperately trying to like. And if at any time they would just like let go of their machinations and just let her do it, they would have probably conquered the country. They were gonna, like.
I was thinking, I was like, we have all these movies of like, what would happen if Hitler won the war? I'm like, what would have happened if she would have lived and people loved her? Like, I think she could have really like taken over everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And especially if her and Elizabeth would have been friends. But it looked beautiful. It sounded beautiful. The script was fantastic. As well as the shots and the acting. Yeah,
a solid 8 for me. It might be like my top 10 of the year, probably.
I think it is probably one of my top 5. Actually.
Another movie that's kind of feels the same-ish, but it's different I saw the other day was The Favorite, which it's just about Queen Anne and being at court with her, who was this kind of mad queen. Like she had physical ailments and had mental ailments, and she's got one friend played by Rachel Weisz, and I think she goes, I think the name of her is like Susan or whatever. She and like it's her friends since they've been kids, and she's like the only one who can kind of like, she kind of bullies her all the time because like everyone else is afraid to indulge. They all indulge the queen's madness and whims and whatever. Like she's like people are playing like there's beautiful music in the corner happening, and she like listen to her and smile, and it'll make her sad for some reason, and then she'll just like freak out, scream, stop playing. Like she just starts losing her mind, and she's the one who kind of will like literally, Rachel Weisz will literally knock the queen off a chair, throw her to the ground, like what are you doing? Stop it, because they've been, the only reason she gets around is they've been best friends since they've been like 8. They tell her when she's getting this bad outbreak of gout, she's in so much pain. She tells her to take her mind. She tells her, tell me a story. Tell me how we first met. And like basically when she was a kid, like bullies would torment her because before she became queen, and this little girl in pink shoes showed up and beat the boys off her, and like they've been best friends ever since. So like it's and at the same time they're about to go to war with France. They're trying to stop them. Like they part of the parliament who was in the power and is like the prime minister is advising the Queen Anne, is telling them that they should keep going. This is her friend Rachel Weisz saying, yeah, we gotta we won't beat them one battle. We gotta really break the will and we gotta win this war, And then the opposite led by Nicholas Hoult wants to make peace. Like we're out of money, or we sacrificed enough. We can have peace now. And he's advocating that. So these two sides of government and have different political views are trying to manipulate her. But since Susan or Rachel Weisz is on this one side, they're winning, right? At the same time, Emma Stone shows up and she is a distant cousin of Rachel Weisz. She's like she knows she remembers her father. Basically, she got lost in a card game to a German man. Like basically had to become like a horror kind of bit less of a term, and then she got her herself out. They explain I think the other guy died or whatever. So basically she escapes, but now she was a lady. Now she's just a serf. She's a peasant, and she shows up there like literally covered in shit. And she even says your mud smells funnier. She falls face first out of the carriage. And says, yeah, no, where's the people's shit here on the ground? Like she's literally covered in poop. And she takes pity on Mr. Be a servant, and she's like in the doing the horrible job, and she's really super nice. Like the point where everyone there's like all like two-facey backstabby, resist court, there's intrigue, and she's super nice. And you learn very quickly that there's actually a little bit of this like backhandedness in Emma Stone. Like she sees that the queen is like in a lot of pain. She goes get a medicinal herb for her to help her, and like Rachel Weisz doesn't like anyone like being the salve emotionally or physically for her. Mm-hmm. So almost like is gonna like she starts having her whipped and then stops her. First she thought maybe it was like poison or whatever. She didn't know what's going on, but like she realizes like it did help her, so she made sure to be her personal service. So she's in the proximity of the queen a lot, you know. And they in Rachel Weisz it's kind of really teaching her to be a lady. Like what's like you kind of give her little lessons, life lessons all the time. But Rachel Weisz is a wicked woman here in this movie. She really is. Like she has no morality whatsoever.
Love it.
So the queen starts liking her a little bit because like Rachel Weisz leaves for like states of country, like kind of runs the country for her, and like they are just hanging out like friends or playing chess and stuff like that. And then one day she's like reading a book in their private library, and Rachel Weisz and the queen go there, and you find out that they're lovers, and she sees the whole thing, and she's like, oh my god, they're lovers. And like you know like this because they're both married, the women, but like they're together, they've been together for a long time. That's the whole secret. She even tells like I could keep all your secrets, I would never betray you, you know, like and then Emma Stone makes a decision because like Rachel Weisz kind of puts her in place, like, oh, I'm gonna knock you down a peg or two, like you're nothing, don't think you're special, like so then Emma Stone kind of seduces the queen, and it's like a weird and the queen likes that she's got two girls after her now, and it's this whole thing, and they do horrible, terrible things to each other to be the favorite, you know, but it's like it's done really well. There's whole like political scheming, and it's shot really well. The dialogue is really good. It's funny and twisted and great. I love the movie. It's the favorite. So
I'm looking forward to seeing it. Because I would really like to say that it was my favorite for the year because it's the favorite.
Yeah.
I think there's a joke there, and also it's definitely seems like a gaping hole in the movies I haven't seen this year. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
See the favorite. It's got a weird ending. I like to see how you go that because but it's done really well. It's the acting is fantastic. So that's the favorite. What's the other movie we saw today?
If Beale Street could talk, it wouldn't be talking, it'd be snoring.
Okay.
The movie was good. The synopsis is really just what was the time period? 1970s. 70s.
Yeah.
Okay. 1970s Beale Street.
Well, it was not Beale Street. That was the beginning. Beale Street's in New Orleans. That's the quote. It actually takes place in New York. So I was confused because Beale Street's a famous.
I was confused. Okay.
That's what they're doing. Like the thing on top. The guy said where the quote was like Beale Street. There's a Beale Street in everywhere. So there's one in DC. There's one like that. It's the street where the poverty lives, basically. You know. And
I missed that.
So it's in New York.
I was confused because they kept talking about the Bronx. I knew it was in New York, but
okay.
The quick synopsis. There's really not much to the plot. A young girl. She's 19. She ends up falling in love with her best friend they've been friends since they were little. There's scenes of them in the bathtub together. And he's like 23, so they're a pretty young couple. They fall in love. They're down on money, and they're just getting by. They're having fun. They're living their life. When he basically is arrested for no good reason and charged with rape. Mm-hmm. The movie starts out with her announcing that she's pregnant to her family, and you just kind of see her trying to free him from jail, trying to raise the money to get lawyers that can help free him from jail, and prove that he's innocent. The Regina King is in it. A couple other actors that were familiar, but I didn't necessarily the names weren't huge names. Mm-hmm. But there's not a lot of plot. It's
a wrongful imprisonment and trying to figure out a way to get out of it. Other than it's just them living their lives. It's a very beautiful movie.
Yeah,
the cinematography is great. I wish Mike saw this movie because he would love the shots, those panning shots and conversation. We just the cameras just because also everyone talks really slow. There's really long pauses for everything, so the camera will slowly pan back and forth between people talking. But then there's a really emotional part. There'll just be a straight on shot of their face. I've never seen so many shots of just the face while people talk and then cut back and forth, back and forth. There's no overshot, no coverage there. It's just back and forth between the two. It's weird.
But it kind of worked oddly enough, and I think that shows the acting was good enough that it worked, and the actors had to work with those camera shots and. I was impressed. I say it's a snoozer. It's just kind of slow.
It's very slow.
We saw it directly. We went from Mary Queen of Scots directly into this. And Mary Queen of Scots, you're on your tip of your toes the entire time.
For a movie that I thought would be very boring, Mary Queen of Scots was tons of action.
Yeah.
Tons of intrigue. It was like, okay, things are happening. I mean, not like physical action. No, there's a brief war for a second, but there's just things are always moving, always happening.
Me falling asleep was completely separate from what was happening in the movie.
I know. I couldn't believe you fell asleep to all the juicy parts.
Affairs,
weddings, murders. You missed all of it.
We're gonna title this podcast "The One Where Molly Falls Asleep" because
I'm with you on Beale Street. God, it was just so. Because we love Jenkins. He did Moonlight, and I was really excited to see this. And don't get me wrong, it's not bad. It's a good movie. There's no real story. I mean, but I don't think we were saying this. I don't think this movie was meant for us.
No.
I feel like it's supposed to be like people who feel oppression and like just the idea like what that's the whole idea. Like they talk a lot about like what it's like to live and being black in America at that time. Like frank, organic and not preachy conversations. Like, they all feel like those conversations are not like plot points, but actual conversations people would have with each other,
And I think that's what Jenkins really succeeds at, is he takes like a portrait of life and gives you this little insight to it, but he doesn't teach you. There's a lot of movies like, I felt like Detroit was trying to teach white people what happened. Yeah. This movie just shows you what's exactly going on, so it's going to resonate for a lot of people, and it's going to be a lot of great things for, especially people who grew up in the 70s. I think it's going to resonate there. But
when we were at the movie theater, we were like the youngest people there. Like I would
say the youngest by at least 25 years.
I was like, it was like, holy cow, what is happening?
It was, and the old people seemed to love it. They were all sticking around for the credits,
talking about it.
Yeah, and I didn't not like it. I just also,
I wish it was just more of a narrative. It's a very basic story. It's her going through her life. What they're doing. The best scene in the movie, because I really like it, is when she tells her new extended family that she's pregnant. That 10 minutes is by far the best scene in the movie, and it's phenomenal.
I think, and part of the issue,
I was like, oh my god, this is the movie. I'm in. This is great, and it just slows down. She retells their courtship a lot, and we could have gone with one date. We saw all like 10 other dates in slow motion with commentary, with all the. And no, it's gorgeous and beautiful and lovely, and like you get why they fall in love. There's so many close with each other's faces. You generally do feel their love.
Yeah,
you get that, but it's a lot of movies just love and heartbreak,
Yeah, and the sex scene took forever. It was so long.
And the thing was, like, I get what they're trying to do, because she's especially in the beginning of the movie, she's such a timid girl. Like, she's just so, like, innocent. And the reason, like, she loves him is because she has a whole speech, like, how they've been in love this whole time, and they realize it because he never made a move on her because he loved her too much. Like, he's all like, I'll be gentle, I'll hold you, don't, like, this whole thing, like, he really wants to make everything about her. Like, he really, really, really wants to make it comfortable and like that, which is great for this thing, but, like, the movie had, like, everything of, like, a social commentary, but also, like, a straight romance movie, and I feel like it kind of straddled both lines a little too much. Go one or the other. So, I mean, if any actor in that movie got nominated, I'd be totally on board, because the acting is phenomenal, and the cinematography is phenomenal, but it just felt like there should have been a little bit more resolution or change or something.
I think you put the nail on the head when you said that first scene, that first 10 minutes was fantastic. I think I wanted that the whole movie. I wanted to come back to the mother-in-law that's
which we never see again.
This preachy, terrible person, really. She says some terrible things to this 19-year-old girl that's pregnant with her son's kid. Yeah. And but we never came back to it. I think I was left wanting more of that and some of that dynamic, and all I got was the love story, which wasn't terrible, but I don't think it was the most interesting thing.
It was the joy of the movie was the love story. Yeah. I guess it's to make you feel even worse later on when things happen. I guess. Yeah. So that was if Beale Street could talk. Did we see any other movies? I don't remember.
The only one Bandersnatch on Netflix. Choose Your Own Adventure. It's so much fun. It's actually pretty good. I actually didn't expect to have an opinion other than just, this was a lot of fun. It had some depth there. It had interesting writing. The acting was good, and you can find the flowchart online and come up with the different endings, and it's interesting if you're a moviegoer trying to guess the ending to that movie, because you're never going to guess it, because it could go any way. But all of a sudden I found myself in a pattern of being able to kind of guess where the prompts were going to go. This is what they're going to prompt you. Mm-hmm. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Go drinking with your friends and then watch this meta deep movie and enjoy your life. So
okay, so that was all the movies that are out. I feel like I saw something else, but I can't remember. And I feel like we talked long enough for our mini podcast. We're really supposed to be in a full blown podcast episode for.
Yeah.
So, where are we at? Oh, I said under an hour is always a mini one. I usually try to do 35, but it's okay. So, everyone, thanks for listening. If you like our podcast, please subscribe, rate, and review. You can find us on social media at Better Than 3D on Instagram and 3D Better on Twitter. We have a YouTube channel that Molly's getting up and running. Do we have anything on it yet?
No, but look forward to last week's episode of the podcast. I'm going to be putting the video version online on Thursday. Okay. So look for something. I'm not. Don't dedicate this to, and don't quote me. Something every week.
I think we can do something every week. I think we can try.
Yeah, we can do something.
Worst case scenario, let's have Dylan dance for 15 seconds. We'll put that on there.
Yeah, and we'll have just a reel of Allison saying "Shut up, Dylan" just over and over.
Actually, Allison going, "Oh no," is my favorite.
I would like that.
And so we'll have that out there. We can still buy our merch on TeePublic. Our t-shirts are still for sale. Our mugs out there. Just search for Better Than 3D. So you can still buy our merch if you like. I'm not that mad on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. Macro on Facebook. Molly's just in the ether somewhere. No, you got a fun nickname for your Instagram. It's like something Baggins. I can't remember what it is now. Willow Baggins?
Wilmo Baggins.
Oh, Willow Baggins. Okay.
You know, in the plot twist to Wilmo Baggins as being my tagline is I don't actually like Lord of the Rings. I kind of hate it. So
well, that's awful because it's a great movie.
But it's clever.
Clever, super clever. And I think that's kind of it for everything we should need to support. Once again, we are sponsored by PC Yoga Studio and Wellness Center in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. Phone number there is 262-501-9500. They are, first class is free. They have a wide variety of different types of yoga. They also have acupuncture, chiropractor, massage therapist, all the above, fun events, wine tastings, cheese tastings, retreats, kids yoga. They do a bunch of cool stuff. Check it out if you are in the southeast Wisconsin area if you want to have a kick-ass yoga time. Doesn't that sound like a weird oxymoron?
Kick-ass yoga.
Yeah, kick-ass yoga.
I like it.
That's it. Okay. And thank you. And until next time, because Allison's not here, bye!